Now this week we're getting to see what all boxing fans thought we'd never see. We get to see Queensberry versus Matchroom. As in Saudi Arabia, this Saturday will be the 5 versus 5. So being someone who's been fortunate enough to work with both promotions, I thought I'd give you my insight to what it's like working with both legendary boxing promoters and tell you who I believe is the better promoter. Frank Warren.
Eddie Hearn.
I'll knock him out.
Reach out to Queensberry, and to be honest, this is one of the most easiest meetings I ever set up. I wrote to Queensberry on the Monday, got a response from Frank's PR, said he's available Friday for a 10-minute interview. So I thought, great, sent off the link. Job's a good one. So we get to the day of the interview, and I was a little bit nervous because Frank's, as we just said, is a Hall of Fame boxing promoter. He's promoted some big nights, Prince Nazim Hamid and stuff like that. So set up, I had all my list of questions ready to go because I thought, right, I've only got 10 minutes with Frank, so I need to rattle these off and within the time limit because I know he's a very busy man. Logged in and that, and I was a little bit taken aback at first because I watch a lot of IFL TV, and the way Frank's set up was obviously how he is when he does his interviews with IFL. And because I was on the computer, at first when I was introducing myself to Frank and stuff before we hit the record, I kept thinking I was watching IFL TV because of that's what it felt like. I'm on my computer, it's the same setup. I had to sort of keep reminding myself that it was me doing the talking. So anyway, we go through the interview and it was great. Like, Frank was very open and honest. He got into details about how he got into boxing, who he's promoted, favourite people. He gave his opinion on the Misfits boxing YouTube scene and stuff like that. And I was getting towards the end and I was like, right, for the final question, Frank, because I know we're running out of time. And he said, no, don't worry about it. Ask away, just keep going. Which I thought was really nice because yet again, it was another example of how a PR company or a personal assistant tells you one thing, then meeting the person herself tells you another. So we went on for another 10, 15 minutes. It was a really good experience because watching a lot of IFL and Seconds Out and stuff, and speaking with Frank, he was talking to me like exactly how he talks to them guys over on them channels. He's like, we'd built up a rapport straight away. He was very open, very honest. He gave me the time of day, and it was a real good experience. Because I thought I had a time limit and I had questions that I wanted and needed to hear, I didn't really pay attention during the interview. It weren't until editing back over the interview is when I really got his responses. So for me, that I let myself down with that experience. So I was so caught up in the moment and making sure I wanted to hit my points of my questions that it was just like rattling down a list. And in a way that taught me, really, from that day forward, just do your research, but know your research in your head. Having paper in front of you, it turns it into, well, I'm just got to run through my list to really pay attention. And it's all about being present in the interview. A lot of people have said the interview's good, so people would have noticed that, but just I'd come away from the interview feeling I'd let myself down in a way, feeling like I wasn't totally there because I just had it in my focus. You've got 10 minutes. Queensberry was very accommodating. As I said, by far one of the most easiest interviews ever to set up. Eddie Hearn.
Frank Warren's interview yesterday, and I was just, it's like 10 steps back. You know, I mean, he really needs to just pack it in.
Interaction came about when I wrote off to Matchroom Boxing asking if they would give any support by sending any boxers to the school I was working at the time. I got a message back from Daniel Bernard, who is the head media at Matchroom Boxing, saying that Matchroom would like to support schools and then have a look to see what boxers are in the area and who he could send down. About a week later, I got another email saying that Dave Allen versus Brown was headlining the O2 and would we like to come down to the show and maybe have the opportunity to interview Eddie Hearn. So obviously jumped at this opportunity. I got an email back letting us know how we'd pick up the tickets and stuff. So on the Saturday night, went down to the O2, and this was a crazy weekend because the night before, I just interviewed DJ Luck from DJ Luck and MC Neat. Down to the O2, picked up our tickets. So we walked in, didn't know where we were sitting, so we went over to one of the stewards and he said, yeah, walk down there. So we're walking down the side bit, and I'm thinking in my head, hang on, we're getting closer and closer to the ring here. come off the side bit and then was down on the floor. Carried on walking down, went to another steward, and he goes, yep, just over there. Went through, went to another steward, and he was like, yeah, just here. When I looked at it, I couldn't believe it, because like, you had the ringside area and like the VIP ringside seats. Then you had another section, and then it was our section. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. We're like 2 sections away from the ring here. And then when we went over to our actual seat, we were like 3 seats away from the side of the aisle. So we was literally 4 feet away from the aisle where the boxers would be walking in and out. So I thought, wow, this is crazy and this is amazing. Like, these are really good seats. Done a little research online, and they come in around £200 per seat, and we'd be given 2 tickets. And by being given complimentary seats, I thought we'd be up in the high strands or something like that. But these were really decent seats. So anyway, I text Daniel to say that we were there, and he said, yeah, just stay where you are. Eddie knows where you are, and if you get a chance, he'll come and see you to arrange an interview. Halfway through the night, Eddie come out, and he came over to the rail and called us over and said, like, I know you guys are here. Thanks for coming. I've obviously got to get on with the show. Got some stuff to do, and we're trying to sort something out. So I thought, brilliant, great, thanks. Carried on watching the rest of the show. What an amazing evening. Got to see Conor Ben. Got to see Derek Chisora. He's now my favourite boxer. And then obviously the main event, which was Dave Allen. The event finished and Dave won, and what an atmosphere. Everyone cheering for the White Rhino and stuff like that. So it's about midnight now, and we get a text through from Daniel saying, like, Eddie's quite busy. He's got some stuff to sort out, and then obviously the press conference and things. So he's probably not going to be able to see you until about 3:30 a.m. To be honest, again, this is a muck-up on my part. So I smoke. I'll be open and honest. I smoke cigarettes, and at the O2 there's a no smoking policy, as in you can't just pop in and out for a cigarette. So I wasn't aware of this until we got there. So they said, oh, you can vape on the concourse, but once you're in, you're not allowed back out. So I said, okay, where can I get a vape from? And they said, right, at the vape stand. Go to the vape stand, and the vape stand's not open. So I'm literally all night not allowed out for a single cigarette. Now, we got there at 5:30 because we didn't know what time, if any, that Eddie would be able to meet us. So we thought we'd better be there from the start all the way through, just in case the opportunity arises and he says, right, come for the interview. So after receiving this message, I just looked at the person I was with, and to be honest, we'd been there like 7 hours, and I was absolutely gagging for a cigarette. And we were knackered from the night before because we'd been at a club till 2 a.m. To get the interview with DJ Luck and MC Neat, and then we'd stayed for the set and stuff. By the time we got home, then I'd done editing and stuff like that. I literally was running on a couple of hours sleep. So I made the silly decision now to say, unfortunately, that was a bit too late, but thank you for the opportunity. Would you be able to answer my questions at a later date? So Daniel wrote back and said, look, I don't know if Eddie be able to, but if you need me to do, I would do the interview for you. So I went home and stuff like that, and then a couple of days later, arranged with Daniel, and Daniel did the interview for us. Matchroom were brilliant with the hospitality. They put us in really good seats. Like I said, it was free for us to attend. Eddie did give his time to come out and say hello. They treated us really well. Like I said, like, we didn't have to queue up. The seats were amazing and stuff like that. But I didn't get the interview with Eddie on my stupid behalf. So now, before we go any further, I just have to make it clear. Both interviews were conducted very early on in my interview days. And I was very naive back then to how easy it would be to actually be able to speak to people. To be honest, I had the better interaction with Queensberry. Frank was very easy to deal with. It was quite literally 2 emails, and then 4 days later, we're sitting there having the interview. He was also very accommodating with his time, making sure that I'd asked everything I needed to ask before he went. Matchroom's hospitality was outstanding, but it felt like a lot of red tape just to get to Eddie. The interaction with Daniel was very good, but it was about 15 to 20 emails to arrange things. So, me personally, I actually say that Queensberry was the better promotion to work with. But overall, whatever happens this weekend, the true winners will be the boxing fans. Bring on the 5 versus 5.